Hey everyone. It's been a little while. We didn't have a video yesterday. Mostly just because I've been trying to level Spidey up and do stuff. So hopefully he's a little bit further along now than he was. Let's see what Liz has for us now.
Mission report, Miss Allen.
Very funny. So, I looked into my brother's network and I think I got a hit. A former mentor, Spencer Smythe. 4 years ago, he started
Oh, okay.
AIM
So there's one
and
mention of like
Smythe
big
and
Spidey name I know.
Could have recruited your brother.
That's what I'm thinking.
I feel because Smythe always sort of was a part of like the Spider Slayer
They're
stuff.
collaborating?
So I could see them sort of making Spidey's end boss be like, hey, here's this giant mech. We're just going to claim that Smythe built it or is inside it.
Thanks.
Would be a pretty easy way, I think, to go about doing that. Because I highly doubt we're going to get like an actual Spider-Man villain thrown in here. Hey guys, so I know it's really only been a few seconds for you since that last little bit. It's been about almost a month for me now. Oh, this isn't even who I need to go talk to. This is Maddie. Anyway, we got our next mission kind of set up. I've been busy with other things and haven't really been focused on this game, just with like Halo being out and me deciding to try and get into Twitch a little bit. I was over there. And it's just one of those things where, I mean, we've all kind of talked about it and known about it, but this game doesn't really have a huge story. So, in terms of like what they did for Spidey. So I took some time away from it. I'm back now just to try and round out some things while I can. I've got a lot of Xbox games downloading after the holidays, so I'm like, you know what? While I wait for that to do that, I can get a little bit more done as Pete. So I figured I could jump back in here and do another video. We're not up to the 25 mark that I initially was talking about wanting to get to, but I think 18 is still a good start. That's like almost 20 anyway.
You are definitely not supposed to be here.
Does it help if I say I come in peace?
Not really.
Really?
Look, I know I'm probably not your favorite person right now, but I am here to help. Smythe, I mean, he's gone off the deep end.
Why the sudden change of heart? Last I saw, you didn't have a problem making robots specifically designed to kill me.
I know, but you have to understand, it was the only way I could make sure Liz was safe.
From AIM?
They would have ruined her career. Or worse. And now they know that Liz and her friend at the Bugle are helping you guys destroy those chemical caches. They're making moves. So let me help give you an edge against them. Look, it doesn't make up for everything, but maybe it's a start?
Okay. Cards on the table. Liz trusts you, but I'm going against my gut by letting you be here. You're on shaky ground, Raxton. I'm keeping my eye on you.
Good. That means you're not an idiot.
It's interesting to see that some of these people do have full models. I was kind of curious at a point because I didn't know if he would like give just a voice spiel. I mean, I knew because they put Liz here. So, I mean, there was some level where you could tell they were doing stuff.
Hey, I could use your help.
Hopefully, if we knock all these out, we can almost get 3 little story points put in. This one looks easy enough that I could almost feel like we'll be able to pull it off. Right, cosmic things. I feel like I've done that one a lot on videos, so we'll do this one this time.
I'm attempting to locate the shield agents and will update your HUD shortly.
I was about to point out how different the sky looked before realizing that I just selected to do a cosmic event, so of course it's going to look like this. Already my brain shut off, and I've only been in here for about like a minute. Alright. I want to try and knock through this also pretty quickly, because A, I would like to get as much of his stuff done as possible while I've got the chance. But B, I would like to have everything for him done before She-Hulk comes out. Which, odds are, She-Hulk's probably not coming out for another couple of months now, but at the rate I'm going, who knows when this is going to be done. Alright, Spidey. I guess we'll stick with the normal drill of anything we can find, we will grab and go from there. So hopefully everybody had a good holiday. I know this won't be the first video to come out after the holidays. This is probably coming at you at like a maybe Friday or Saturday. But it's actually a lot of the videos that have come out this week so far have been pre-recorded. So odds are, I mean, I know this is the first video I filmed following the holidays. It might not be the first one that I filmed that you'll see following the holidays. But I know both the Minecraft and Pokemon video that came out earlier this week were recorded a few weeks before then. I was just trying to get ahead because essentially when like COVID and everything first hit, I really got back into YouTube, and then I fell off it a little bit this year, and shit. Thanks to Minecraft, I was able to get back into it a little bit. But oh, that doesn't have healing on it yet. I forgot about that. I need to get it on there. But as I was saying, yeah, it fell off a little bit. I was able to kind of use Minecraft as a way to slowly start getting back in. But I've just been having some issues and certain things with health that I've had to been taking care of kind of towards the tail end of this year, unfortunately, as well. And thankfully, a lot of those issues are going to kind of wrap up now, thankfully, because I'm supposed to be getting a little bit of a procedure done mid-January that hopefully once that's done, everything will wrap up, like, God willing. But my hope is that from there... Why won't they let me execute this guy? Alright, whatever. My hope is from there is to really start putting out a whole bunch of different content. And so I have a few different, like, little series I'm trying. I've got that, like, Thursday playthrough one I'm doing. We're starting up that, like, Pokemon one as well, which will be more of a temporary thing just for now, just 'cause it seemed like it could be fun to do. But, and then on top of that, I have the new channel that is going to start within, like, a week or two, which is a bit more about just, like, writing and actually creating and filming things, more like technical and creative side, as well as I'm hoping to actually get one of my creative projects I've been hoping to get off the ground out this year. So I've got a lot that I'm hoping to do. Whether or not it all comes to fruition, I guess will be something we will see, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I'm like, so long as everything goes well with this health stuff that I'm trying to figure out, I should pretty much be free and for the rest of the year and ready to go beyond that. Some characters are weird because some of them will have super easy little missions to pull off, and others are rather, like, difficult. I don't think any of them are too crazy, but I have noticed that I've found, like, Black Panthers and Thors far more annoying to try and pull off for their challenge cards than, like, Spidey's and Iron Man's were. And even Kamala. Kamala had super easy ones as well. She actually, I think, had some of the easiest of them all. A lot of hers were really just, hey, kill this guy. I also just realized I haven't done, like, any of what his actual objectives are, because I've been focusing on a lot of that, so I should do that so that we can actually get somewhere with this. Oh, why'd you have to kill that one? I was gonna sprint into him. The problem is that a lot of his stuff they want you to pull off is easy, but it's like, I don't want to just stop and focus on only that. It's weird. I've noticed it with this game and even the PS4, the one that came out a few years ago, that there's something weird about his classic suit just not lining up all that well with, like, the world that they put him in. Like, once he got the, like, actual video game suit, it looked fine, but I always thought that, like, his suit in PS4 looked very, like, cartoony versus, like, the more somewhat realistic world that they set up. And even here, like, this feels very, like, cartoonish for his suit compared to the rest of, like, the characters and the way that the world's set. I'm like, and I think it's mostly just the color scheme. Like, it's a very bright color that they're showing off for him. You gonna help Paul? I'm not sure that he did. This thing doesn't have health, but it's still spewing here. Alright, whatever. I've seen some weird shit in this game lately that I normally didn't see. Like, I knew there were a lot of problems because I'd see people talk about it online. But I've been fortunate enough personally to not have to actually deal with a lot of it. Outside of, like, the usual issues I would normally have of, oh, this enemy went into the ground again, or is in a wall. But recently, like, I've seen stuff where enemies have been teleporting. I've seen things where enemies have suddenly gone invisible. So I'm like, huh, I guess all those problems are finally starting to come plague me too. I also recently had it where one of my players was invisible for a while. Oh, screw you. Alright. Okay, can I please stand up? Jesus. Oh, I'm glad she was there. There we go. I wonder, I had friends that actually bought this game recently because it was on sale for like, I think it was a little less than $15 at the time. And so it was like, I basically told them, like, the game's not great, but I'm like, for $15, you'll get enough out of it. And I'm not really sure how much they've been playing on their own. I've been trying to get them to do a little bit of it, because I'm like, you know, you're not going to get through the main story, because the main story's mostly all single player. So I'm trying to get them to do that a little bit. So hopefully maybe they pulled, I haven't talked to them in like 4 days now. So maybe they did a little bit of it by now. Like, not that there's a whole lot to go through. From my knowledge, I'm pretty sure that the main campaign, if you just do those missions without anything else, you can get through it in about, what, like 8 hours maybe, at the most. Oh my lord. This whirlwind web thing is going to be pretty rough if they won't stop and just get webbed. It's sad how slow his web swinging actually goes when you see it in comparison to all these buildings. It doesn't look so bad, personally in my eyes, when you're out in like the woods swinging, because everything just feels bigger there. But when you're in the city and you see that it takes them like 4 swings to get past one building, it's pretty atrocious. Alright, Spidey. Let's take these guys out now. You know, I know they have to do it for game purposes, but I really love how like 3 web balls is enough to make a turret explode. Yeah, did they add like the web effect only for Spidey, or do some of the droids that got added in the raid do it too? I'm curious about that, because that is like, he's the only one I've seen with the effect so far, because I haven't played the raid yet. So I don't actually know if this is a, like, thing that only got added for him, or if it was just a part of other things. Like, I said it in some of the other Spidey videos I've done, like, in terms of the gameplay they did for him, they really should be credited for that. Like, I know a lot of the animations and stuff, and even some of the gameplay techniques are kind of just copies and taken from Insomniac, but I think they found a good way to make it like balance out and work with the way that they did the Avengers game. But it's just sort of unfortunate that that is the only part of Spidey that really came out well. Not that the story's really on them. With the way everything's been going and how long it takes to get these characters out, I think anyone that was actually expecting like a really conclusive, well-done story from this was kidding themselves. I thought they were going to do some sort of story for him, but I was expecting it to be short and kind of crap. I wasn't expecting there to be none at all, but honestly, I thought this was the smarter choice, considering. this isn't a game that's made to have exclusive characters on systems. If they were gonna do it, Spidey should have been a pre-order thing that came out when the game released. And I know I've voiced that a few times across videos, but really that's just the honest truth of it. If he wasn't gonna be pre-order that came with the game, he shouldn't have been included at all. "10 out of 40. That's not great. I was hoping to have this done by the time I was in the actual, like, mission area. Was not actually focusing on the mission like I should have been. That's on me. Oh well.
If you can gain control of AIM's network temporarily, I can infiltrate their security.
Do you... Did my drone just do that on its own? I feel like it did. I don't remember hitting anything for that, unless it's a part of a combo, and I just wasn't paying attention. Holy shit, that just killed them. Yeah, I know this thing is helping me, but I'm actually starting to get annoyed with how much this stupid shield's popping up around me. I'm pretty sure that drone is a passive. That's super fucking annoying. That goes off a lot. The one time I was actually hoping there'd be an enemy or two in here for me to freaking sprint kick, and they don't show up. Yeah, I was also thinking, because I've seen some people asking about MCU suits and different suits for him. I mentioned earlier how he had the potential to get a lot of suits, because they could even pull from, like, his non-MCU ones. But, what I wasn't thinking about at the time, and it kind of hit me later, is I don't know how much they would do for him. Like, I think eventually he'll get some, like, MCU and special, like, exotic suits of his own. But considering that a lot of the money that they're trying to make now off the game, since the DLC isn't paid, is a lot of, like, the, oh, let's add in this MCU suit that's technically, like, $15 when they buy it, I don't know how quickly he'd get his suits. Because then they're also limiting themselves with who's going to put the money in to buy the suit that week. And I don't know how their player base has been doing recently. I haven't seen as many reports on it. But I know that it wasn't a huge one that was left, like, a few weeks, or I should say, like, a few months ago now. So I'm like, when you're already kind of suffering in that sense, I'm not sure it would really make all that much sense to kind of take the route of, like, oh, well, let's cut down revenue even more by taking a third of the remaining player base and saying, hey, we're only going to try and take money from you guys this week. But I mean, I think that was the other thing. Like, Spider-Man wouldn't have been such a hamper for them if A, their timetable worked out the way they thought, where they thought a lot of the stuff that we have now would have been done by this time last year, and if it was also sort of around in the fact of, you know, the game was still thriving and they didn't lose the player base they did. Well, things would have been a lot of different then, because, well, of course, I'm sure anyone could tell you that, hey, player base, a game that's a live service does a lot better with a player base with several 100,000 people than several thousand. For fuck, oh my god, I hate these lasers. They don't fuck you up, thankfully, as much as, like, Black Panther's thing fucking would, where anytime you get hit while you're in that, you just lose your entire bar. My god. I feel like his web balls are a lot stricter about where you need to hit in comparison to even, like, Widow's pistols. Alright, Spidey. Do you I thought he normally had a chest down here in missions, but I guess not. Oh, do I need to beat everyone in this room? I thought they normally disappeared. Oh, yeah, thanks. I could have done that, but glad you stole it, Stark. Had everybody in the elevator. Or not. I guess we're leaving Kamala behind. Yeah, he was one of the good releases, though, in terms of timing. That was the other thing that I was really kind of curious about, like, their planning for this game. Or I'm like, I understand they're trying to be different from the MCU and not focus a whole lot on popularity from there. Like, I give them credit for going that route and not just trying to bank in on it. But I'm like, it's a very strange thing to me that they would put out, like, Kate's DLC at a time where most people outside of comics and really that only followed, like, sort of the mainstream of the MCU had no idea who the fuck she was. And then, like, now when they really could have capitalized because the Hawkeye show's coming out, they're like, her stuff's already been out for, like, a year. I'm like, they at least made it work because the Spider-Man movie just came out, so they're kind of able to capitalize on anyone being like, you know, I just saw that, I want to play as Spider-Man. Of course, to be fair, I feel most people feeling that may have preferred to go back to the Spider-Man game that Insomniac did. But, I mean, it was one of those things, too, where when Falcon and Winter Soldier came out, I remember watching that and being like, man, they really fucked up by not having either one of those two be a DLC character at the time. So I'm like, at that time after watching that, I'm like, I would have loved to have had a game where I could have played Falcon. Outside of, like, nothing against Ultimate Alliance 3, because I've been playing it a bit now that I have a Switch and I like it. But there's definitely a very difference in, like, gameplay style in that type of game versus this one. Where, like, a lot of stuff in Ultimate Alliance 3 is done way better than this game. But I will say, like, I'd much rather play this one for the combat style that they give it versus Ultimate Alliance, which, I mean, in reality, all of them are you're pushing, like, 2 or 3 buttons and that's it. But this one just looks better animation-wise for their fighting. Oh, is that you're the last guy? Oh, that's not the last. Okay. I was wrong to assume that. I completely forgot that there were waves of this stuff. I don't know how I forgot there were waves of it, but whatever. What did I do that you're... Oh, my drone's out. Duh. What, I can whirlwind him? Come on, Spidey. Put your muscle into it. Did I miss that dude? What did I web? Ooh, if we got one of those, let's try and use it. Hey, you.
The agents are safe.
And that'll do it.
Bring them pickup coordinates so they may evacuate.
Well, alright. I mean, as this is ending, I think you kind of get the gist of what's going to happen. We'll do the same thing where I'll knock out some more missions, get them a bit more leveled up. So the next video will probably have 1 or 2 little story snippets in it, as well as some more gameplay. At this rate, I might try and do him at, like, past 25... Oh, he's level 22 already.
I've sent Commander Hill a
I don't know, maybe I'll
location to
do
extract the shield agents. Well done.
30-ish then, or something. I didn't realize how close I had to 25 already.